One thing that we haven't talked about on the show yet is the All-WNBA awards,
Mhm.
because if we all remember, there was a schedule of when awards were supposed to come out. And
Yes.
then the league was in crisis and they did not release the list. So we all got jumbled. But now that it's over the season, I want to go back and kind of reflect on all WNBA first team, second team, and all defensive teams, because I
Mhm.
think there were some huge accolades, a lot of first timers, which is like my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
So let's start with all WNBA, the offensive side. So
Yeah.
first team, I'll just list them out. Asia Wilson, Nafisa Collier, Alyssa Thomas, Alicia Gray, Kelsey Mitchell. That
Mhm.
is first team. And I love that Kelsey Mitchell is on this list. I love that Alicia Gray is on this list. They deserve it. They balled out this year.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you saw with from this first team?
Yeah. I mean, I had a ballot this year. I was a voter, and this is exactly who I voted for my first team. I think all five of these women were just undeniable in their seasons, and there's a reason why these five on first All NBA team, or excuse me, WNBA team, were also the top five MVP vote getters
Mm-hmm.
this season, because the way that they powered their teams was absolutely incredible. And, you can look at some of these teams. I look at, Alicia Gray has incredible help with, Ryan Howard. Naz Holman had a great year, but she is still just like, she is the power, the engine to Atlanta. You look at what Kelsey Mitchell literally played until her wheels fell off.
Yes.
And she is the reason why the Fever made it as far as they did. And then obviously, you know, Asia and Fee, it kind of goes without saying what they were able to accomplish this season. Like, every single one of them was just insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it, again, matches what I did in my ballot, and I think that they're so deserving of this.
Yes, we got it right as a WNBA family. This is the five players. And I also love that I think there's a tidbit that a lot of people maybe don't know, which is different from All Star, is that this is positionless, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
are just putting in your vote for the best players. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a center, a forward, a guard. These are just the best
Yeah.
players,
And I
period.
think I think that that's how it should be, because you look at someone
I
like
agree.
Alyssa Thomas, right? And what I spent a lot of time with the Mercury in the playoffs and talking to Nate Tibbetts and their general manager Nick Uren. And when they brought AT into Phoenix, it was this thing of, you are the point forward. Like, you are technically a forward, but you're our point guard, you're our floor general. And I think it's like, we need to move to this positionless way of thinking, especially with these awards, because across basketball, people are playing, so it isn't like the old days of, okay, the center stands in the paint, in the post, and waits for this, and the point guard only facilitates. They can, so I think,
Yeah.
again, these were the five most deserving players. And if it wasn't this positionless style, one of those guards wouldn't have been there.
Mhm.
But I think that these were the five that needed to be there. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that we're in this positionless voting.
Me too. Me too. Again, they got it right. The only thing I'll say about this first team is Brianna Stewart's name is not on this list for the first time since
Mm,
2019, where she didn't play that season. That's the only reason
yeah.
why she was out, because of an
Yeah.
Achilles injury. So that was just like a shock to the system, not even because I think she got snubbed, but just because we got so used to it and so used to her just being, in that top 3 best player
Yeah.
category. So that
I
was a lot.
yeah. I think people, when like, I'll talk about myself for saying this again, but like, or but when you were so great, you raise the bar on yourself. And
Mhm.
this season, again, there were so many tremendous players. Someone always has to be left off, right? And it's
Yeah.
the same conversation we have around All-Star, but it is a little bit different here just because it's All-Star is so celebratory and there's a lot of different voting factors that kind of create the equation.
Yeah.
But I think it's a testament to the talent in the W and you having emerging star. I mean, like entering this season, I don't think anyone had Kelsey Mitchell's name penciled in as a all WNBA first team player,
Mhm.
an MVP candidate, all of this stuff, especially knowing who one of her teammates is.
Yeah.
No one would have predicted that. But I think it's the beauty of how much talent is in this league and just the many iterations in one season, right? Like
Mhm.
the ebbs and flows of the year, this season in particular, I think was quite unpredictable in a lot of ways. And I mean, again, even looking at the Aces and what they accomplished a month and a half ago,
I know. I
who
love
would
it.
have thought? Who would have thought? So I think Stewie, she's gonna, use this as motivation, right? Keep getting better. Her team had a lot of downs, a couple ups, but a lot of downs. She had some, injury struggles this year.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's part of me always loves to see the new kids on the block kind of start taking some of that firepower, right? And I think that that's what we
Yeah.
saw with Kelsey over Stewie this year. And that's no disrespect to Stewie, but it's fun to see the people continuing to rise.
Absolutely. That's what makes the ecosystem of the WNBA continue to flow. And
Yeah.
her Stewie's teammate Sabrina was on second team along
Mhm.
with Nneka Gumake, Jackie Young, Aaliyah Boston, and Paige Bueckers. And
Yeah.
so all those first timers, Beckers, Alicia Gray, Kelsey Mitchell,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And Aaliyah Boston
Yeah.
all making their all WNBA team debuts. So that's super exciting. I think for second team, and it's like we can have this conversation: who is left off, who do you take off, all of that. But the Sparks, I was kind of wanting some Dearica Hamby or
Yeah.
some Kelsey Plum love for second
Yeah.
team. That was probably the only thing where I was like, dang, all of these players balled out, but
Yeah.
so did some players on the
All those
Sparks.
this
That was, like, the only thing.
I think second team is one of the hardest
I know.
because you're so right. It is. There's so many players, and it's like, did it just like I'm like, put a third team out
I
there or
know,
something.
we need a 3rd team. We
There's
do need a
something
3rd
like that,
team.
just because it is like there are that's I think where you kind of can see a little bit more like snubs or
Mhm,
people who I don't know if that's the right word, but just like people who were also deserving. Because yeah, I mean, I think you put out two great names. I like Kelsey in her first year with LA was like really good
mhm.
and I mean, Dearica, I think Dearica maybe didn't get enough shine for kind of what she was able to do. You always kind of think of like how does season results factor into that? And it's like it's a hard thing to balance because then again, like okay, Paige Bueckers,
Yeah, Paige is on this
uh,
list, so you kinda can't even
you know what I mean?
do that. Paige deserves to be on this
Yeah,
list. She was
yeah,
not only leading, we'll get to the all-rookie team, but
yes,
she was leading everybody in a lot of
yeah,
categories. So she definitely deserved, all these players deserve it.
yes,
But I love the idea of a 3rd team, and also I think about, something that just loving the history of the league, right? And we go back and we look at this season and you just using Dearica Hamby as an example. Okay, she wasn't an all-star. She
mhm,
didn't make an all WNBA team in offense or defense, but she had a really great season, but there's no awards or anything to like attach it
yeah,
to call back to this season. And that's
yeah,
what always is hard when I think about snubs is even
yeah,
for an all-star. Okay, they had a really great season, but are we going to remember this great season in some way
yeah,
because they were able to get an award for it? No? all right, we're gonna have to look through her basketball reference and be like, yeah, that was a good year. I
Yeah,
remember. That's
that is
all
a
we
good
have to go
point.
off of.
That
Yes,
is a good point. I hadn't thought of that, of the historical tracking of it. That's an interesting way to look at it. But it is true, and maybe it takes like the true basketball junkies to be able to
yeah.
pinpoint. No, but remember 2025. Um, yeah, and now I'm thinking back. I'm like, man, I feel like I have to go look back at the historically great seasons that weren't bookmarked right by
For
something.
sure. There's a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot. There's this book I've told that's coming out
Oh,
written by Jordan Robinson and Emma Bachelary where we talk about some of those seasons.
oh my
But
gosh.
that's
Yeah.
what makes you go back to in your memory to be like, "Dang, didn't De'Erica have a really good season that year? Didn't the Sparks
Yeah.
almost miss the playoff?" Like
Yeah.
that type of memory, but nothing to on paper to show for it. So
Mhm.
there's that aspect of it. But this idea too for all rookie team, because I think this is just the toughest list to make because
Yeah.
it's one team, it's five rookies,
Yeah.
and this year particularly, there were so
So
many
many.
great rookies and so many good options. But on the list, Paige Bueckers, Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Don Malonga, and Janelle Salon.
Mhm.
I mean, I felt like this was impossible. I don't know
It
how you voted for this, but this
yeah.
felt very hard.
I had Paige, Sonia, Kiki, Salon, and then I had Monica Koamakani over Dom.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
sat with that last one for a while, and I had a lot of conversations with other voters, other reporters, like or like team members, the I'm like, what? Like, pitch me so like
Mhm.
make
Mhm.
help me, which only actually makes it harder when people are pitching you on their athletes because I'm like, you're so right. Like, I the reason I think that Malonga's ceiling is one of the highest ceilings in this rookie class. I am so
Wow.
excited to watch her continue to grow. And especially her progression over like the latter half of the season. I chose Akoa Makani over Dom just because I think her entire year contributions were so incredible to what the Mercury did, especially when they were without um, Kalia Copper and Alyssa
Mhm.
Thomas. And I just think that she, even in the even in the playoffs, making it to the finals, was a key contributor to that team. These ballots were due before the playoffs started, but that's how I put my ballot. But I sat there with that fifth spot open and
Mhm.
didn't hit submit until the last possible second, just because I think that what Malonga was able, like her growth in year one in real time, I think is so incredible. And basketball fans should be so excited. Seattle should be
Oh, yeah.
thrilled to have her and hopefully for a good long while.
Mhm. That is the perfect excuse me, the 2 players that I was also thinking about. When you think
Yeah.
about contribution, when you think about a rookie starting and having to play a major role in Phoenix's offense, how they go, what they do, a rookie starting guard, even in the playoffs. I know this is mostly
Yeah.
regular season. It was just so much.
Yeah.
We talked about it. Me and Cheryl talked about it, a couple episodes ago, just about how she's going to grow tremendously from this playoff experience, from the finals experience. And there were some things where it's like, okay, you're a rookie. You saw Dewana talking to her, pulling her over to the side, like maybe not that pass right now, maybe not that shot right now. All of those things. But every single rookie on this list went through that this season. Like that's what rookies do. That's what you go through. But Dom Malonga, what she was able to do off the bench, setting records, having 20 plus points, double digit rebounds. I think the excitement factor is more on her side. So I for sure get that. And also the expectation. She was the number 2 pick. She's kind of supposed to be on this list, whereas Makoa Makani, I will admit, I wasn't familiar with her game until the season tipped off. So I think that's something where the expectation is, yeah, you're the number 2 pick. It's supposed to be all the
Yeah.
number 1 through 5 picks on this list. But Salon coming in, I mean,
Yeah.
for the Valkyries, I don't know how you choose someone from the Valkyries. It could have been so many options just from that team alone. I'm happy to see that the Valkyries get a nod here. And Salon was one of those players that I just remember the first time really watching her. She didn't even start the season on the team. When she came, it was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is a bucket. Where has
Yes.
she been? Like this
She's a
mid-range, this jumper, she is
yeah.
a scorer. So
She's
I
a
love that
scorer.
she's here.
And she's kind of a killer too. Like she has, and I know that like that was something so important to the Valkyries' identity, but like she had that oomph to her,
Mhm.
right? And I like you saw her again, another player who you just saw grow in real time. Um, I mean, she was so important to the Valkyries' success this year, and I was excited to like. I mean, I voted for her, but I was excited to see her make the team too because she, again, like you said, she kind of came out of nowhere. People didn't really know what to expect from her, and as the season went on, as you know, Kayla Thornton went down, and then they suffered. The Valkyries dealt with a lot of other injuries toward the tail end of the season. Xanda Lassini missed some time, some other players as well. Tab Hayes was out for an extended period of time. And Salon just kind of kept going and going. And there were moments again where I kind of like what you were saying with Akoa Makani. You're like, okay, you're a rookie.
Mhm.
I see that. But again, you're a rookie. You should be
Yeah.
doing those mistakes now and learning as you go. But I think she's very deserving of it. And like you said, I think this was a really hard group to assess because there were so many talented rookies this year. But that's also, again, as we talk about the growth of the league and young players continuing their rise. I mean,
Mhm.
that's exactly what you want.
I love it. And Salon, I mean, she was playing overseas up
Yeah.
until the very beginning. Then she left
She's
for
right back there.
Eurobasket. Then she came back. And then I saw a post, I feel like it was the next day after the
Yeah.
Valkyrie season was over. She's already back in
Yeah.
EuroLeague. So
After that
nonstop.
game, after game 2 against the Lynx, someone asked about I don't remember if the question was about like reflecting on this year or looking ahead to next year. And Janelle just goes, I start playing
Got
tomorrow.
a
I'm
flight.
not done. Like I have a game in 2 days. What are you talking
Wow.
about?
Wow.
I'm like,
Oof.
girl, I need your stamina and conditioning.
That's crazy. That is wild. But shout out to her. I mean, the
Yes.
work is paying off. It's showing, and I'm so happy. So I think we got it. It's
Yeah.
right for the all rookie
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
for sure. Quickly talking about the defensive team. So first team, second team. First team, Nafisa Collier, Alana Smith, Alyssa Thomas, Gabby Williams, Asia Wilson. Second team, Aaliyah Boston, Veronica Burton, Ryan Howard, Ezzy Magmagor, and Brianna Stewart. So we do get Stewie on
Yeah.
a defensive team. Any one of these players kind of stick out to you on these defensive teams? I have one, but I want to know
Oh,
who's yours.
no, you go first. I didn't have one that was crazy to me. So you go.
Not even that it was crazy. I want to shout out Ryan Howard for
Yes.
making this list.
She was
I
on my
think
ballot. I voted
that
for her.
is so great for her. I think about Ryan, and when you think about her game, first of all, you think about ride time and you think about the offensive explosiveness and how she can
Mhm.
score in bunches, quickly, in a hurry. But I think about back in media day, how what she said were her goals for this year. She
Mm.
said she wanted to be in the MVP conversation. She wanted to be a all WNBA on an all WNBA team and an all WNBA defensive team. And she didn't feel like she got credit for her defense. She
Yeah.
was mostly known for her offense. And I think back to May when they were battling the fever and a reporter asked at the end of the game, you've kind of been locking up Dewana Bonner. Like she hasn't really been able to do anything. How do you do that? And what can we expect for the season? And Ryan calmly, she took a long beat and she kind of laughed under her breath. And she said, I don't really understand the question because I play D. I I really be on that.
Yeah.
And that was the soundbite, right?
Ugh.
And that's the energy she kept all year long of like, "No, I'm a defensive player too. You guys are gonna
Yeah.
start recognizing that." And so I was just so happy that she was able to check at least this off of her goals list
Yeah.
this
I
season.
mean, she was so strong on defense, like often taking right opponent's best guard or best wing player, and she is like it's her footwork, it's her hands, it's her
Mhm.
reflex, right? She ask any guard, right, and they're gonna tell you how under recognized they are for their defense. And but we're seeing more and more guards who are so good, and it's different than bigs. Like they're so pesty. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like when I
Mhm.
look at all of the guards who made these lists, they would annoy the heck out of me being out on the court. And Ryan is one of those kinds of players who she's just always there, like in your
Mhm.
space. And you're not going to get as many block shots. You're not going to get those types of numbers that the bigs are going to get, that you're going to see from Asia and that you're going to see from Fee. But it's the other numbers that will show up, and also again just like the presence. And
Mhm.
um I remember like years ago I had a conversation with Draymond Green in the locker room of the Warriors talking about defense, and he's a defense guy. How can you measure defense? And ever since
Mhm.
that conversation, I've kind of tried to like take a holistic look at defense. And again, just looking at people who is always there and making life miserable for those people that you're guarding. And Ryan is one of those people that just is always there and making it difficult. And so, yeah, I voted for her. I think she was great. Veronica Burton's hit, she's again, after Kayla Thornton went down, Veronica just said, okay, this is my team and taking over. But doing it on both ends, again, her defense was so important to this team. So I guess that's one kind of that I was like, again, not surprised because I voted for her, but is you have to pay a little bit more close attention.
Yes. I love this idea of the pesky
Yeah.
guard that just sneaking around. Gabby Williams is the number
Yes.
one person on that.
Yes.
That's why she made first team. A lot of people saying she should have been in the co-defensive player conversation with Asia
Yeah.
if there was going to be one because of the steals factor. And there's
Mhm.
always a conversation around Depoy and this idea of guards just not getting the same look because of this idea of how do we measure defense. We always go to block shots when it is so much more than that. There's so many other factors. And I think this list kind of recognizes a little bit of all of it. So I feel good. I feel like we got this right too. And not too many I don't feel like there's a player that jumps off to me that is like, oh, we missed. There are players that have traditionally been on this list, someone like a Brittany Sykes, someone like a Jordan Canada, but missing time. Brittany Sykes switching teams was way more offensive focused this season than ever
Yeah.
before. So I'm okay. I'm okay with the newbies on it. I'm okay with Veronica Burton getting this nod and most improved player. Like she
Yeah.
deserves all of these accolades. So,
Yeah.
all right, WNBA awards, all WNBA. Also, there's some money tied to these awards. So they're not
Yeah.
just like, oh, fun, great for you. You can add that for all WNBA. You get the first team, you get $10,300. Second team, you get $5,150. We need that to go up like a lot, but I'm sure nobody's turning down a $10,000 check. So